So you've done a little bit of diving and you want to check out Raja Ampat and do the liveaboard experience. Well, you've come to the right place because this video is going to be a deep down breakdown of the wonder that is Raja Ampat and the liveaboard diving experience. The video is going to be divided into two parts. Firstly, it's going to be about the boat and the experience you'll have on the boat, the food, the people, and the accommodation. And second of all, it's going to be about the nature under and above the water. For Raja Ampat, you will be picked up from Sorong airport so that you can get to the dock to the actual main boat. You'll be taken on board by a small tugboat, and as soon as you get on board, you're going to be given a welcome drink and an icy cold wet towel, which I think was a wonderful touch. This boat is a very new boat. It's got a very wooden vibe all throughout. There are so many places to hang out, both indoors and outdoors. Everywhere indoors is air conditioned to the max. And you'll be rest assured that almost every room is an ensuite. Right now, we're looking at a top deck and it's a little bit more expensive to stay than the bottom deck. There you get an amazing view out to the ocean as soon as you wake up. And as well as that, the room's gonna be air conditioned with an ensuite option. Even in the bunk beds in the lower deck and the twin share in the lower deck, they're gonna all come with their own ensuite too. The bathroom fit out is not gonna be made out of just plastic or just fiberglass, but it's gonna be actually made out of stone. It gives it a very, very luxurious feeling. As far as sleeping on a boat out in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of an ocean, this is as 5-star as it can get. All the bedding and towels that you see will be replaced, and while you're on the dive during the day, the rooms will all get professionally cleaned with crisp sheets so that when you come back into bed after a shower, you're gonna have a lovely, relaxing sleep. I think also at this point it's worth mentioning that the boat has almost no rock. Raja Ampat as a location is actually very still, so the boat will have a very, very gentle rock. Even if you are prone to seasickness, there's a very good chance that this won't be an issue for you. Around the middle level of the deck is a massive TV and a karaoke set as well. We actually took that space, and not only did we sing karaoke, we did some footage review when we hung out at nighttime just to go through some of the footage that we shot throughout the day as well. Along the rear part of the middle deck is a very quiet area. It was actually very popular for some of the people who wanted to put some early workout and stretches in the morning. Working our way up to the rooftop, when the sun is not as strong around sunset time, it is a wonderful place to relax. The wind, the temperature, the humidity is always just simply perfect. That rooftop is extremely spacious. You would have 50 people on there and it wouldn't even feel that crowded. And of course, one of the most important places on board is of course the kitchen and the dining area. The food is cooked almost always to perfection. They know that if they stuff up on their food on the early part of the journey and everyone gets sick, guess what? We're not gonna have fun diving at all. So they know that they have to nail the cuisine and the cooking itself for us to have an enjoyable time. And they have nailed it. Everything is cooked to perfection. It is cooked to a home standard, not just a commercial standard. So a lot of the food is not gonna taste so processed or too salty or too sweet, but it's gonna be just right for your taste bud. They actually put out a very good combination of carbs, meats, and vegetables, as well as good and healthy fruity dessert at the end of each meal as well. You can almost always make unlimited requests for mee goreng and some fried eggs. The staff is actually super duper friendly and there's nothing that you can't ask of them. And of course, if you want to do some cooking yourself and bring some of your own food, as you can see, our friend Ping took some of the matters into his own hands. And guys, this is when I thought the boat was next level, is when I saw the ice machine on board itself, which I thought was crazy. On the second to last night, they offered up some hot pot, which actually came with a lot of fresh ingredients. And I would have thought putting that on a boat would be very difficult to do, but they managed it to perfection. They've got a lot of mouths to feed and mouths of different origins as well. But a cuisine like hot pot can be enjoyed by literally anybody from all over the world. So I thought their choice was actually on point. And on the last day, we dock on the Sorong port and we have a massive party at nighttime. The barbecue is out with lots of seafood and meat options. The vibe is amazing. I took my time to do a little bit of toast. Everybody had an absolute blast, just reminiscing back to all the unforgettable memory that we had on the trip. The meal in itself was extremely delicious. There's literally about 20 different dishes out on the trestle table which you can pick from, and it is just an unforgettable experience. I do believe that food is a very, very integral part of traveling and of course experience such as this when you are surrounded by friends and people that you care about. So I think they've really hit the nail on the head with what they offered in terms of food and cuisine. Oh, I want to talk about the dive preparation area. You're given a diver number to store all your gear that is labeled. Almost every gear is available to be rented on board, and of course you can bring your own gear on board as well. From the main boat, all you have to do is literally put on your wetsuit, grab your mask, grab your camera, and out onto the tugboat you go. On the tugboat is already fully set up your BCD, your regulators, and of course your tank, and your fins will be ready right in front of where you normally sit. And as you get transported to the actual dive site with the tugboat, you're gonna have time to actually gear up on board. So I must admit, the most physically demanding part of this dive was that you have to put on your wetsuit. And if that's the most physically demanding part of your dive, you're having a very easy dive and you're focusing a lot of your time and energy just going in the water and staying in the water, breathing underwater, seeing beautiful sights underwater. And these tugboats have little holes in there so that you can actually rest your tank in there, which is a very, very convenient thing. And of course, on your way back, once you dock onto the main boat itself, you can actually get on the deck, and at the rear of the boat, straight away, you can have a fresh water shower to wash off all the salt. And there, once you've washed off all the sand, you can actually dunk all of your booties and your wetsuit in a tub of fresh water, and you can just hang it straight back up, which is super convenient. Now, as soon as you get back, you'll be given warm drinks, Milos, ginger tea, water, orange juice. They're all available options for you. During night dives, you'll be given a warm, wet towel to put on your face. And of course, there's always crispy and clean large towels available for you to dry yourself off. There are showers available on the public areas where you can have a longer shower, or you can just go down to your room to have another crazy shower as well. It was good enough for me and most divers for them to just dry off on the shower that they have at the back of the boat and just walk around and dry themselves off with a towel. So in Raja Ampat, what can you see underwater? Well, there's a lot to see underwater. You're gonna see a very, very rich wildlife of just, I guess, small fish and the colorfulness of all the reefs. And you're also gonna see turtles, barracudas. You're gonna see sharks in different settings. You're gonna see wobbegong shark. You're gonna see manta rays. You're gonna see whale shark. But almost every dive, there's something really, really interesting to see. A lot of the group that I went with, they love all the micro things, but even if you're not into the micro things, there's actually a lot of cool things to see. One of the dive was actually on the beach itself. We actually didn't dive, we actually did a bit of snorkeling, and that's because all the wildlife was available on very shallow waters, and you wouldn't believe that these are all sharks. And then make sure you go swim across the bottom of the jetty as well. That's where you're gonna see some batfish, which I thought was beautiful. I believe that they're one of the most beautiful fish there is. But the sharks, when you're underwater, you are surrounded by them, and it was simply unforgettable for me. I feel as though there's more creatures that come out at nighttime, and when you do point your flashlight out into the expanse of water, when you see something move in the distance, it is a lot more prominent. So you can actually identify moving creatures a lot easier when you are diving at nighttime. We found a lot of interesting creatures there, and just remembering back, I'm pretty sure that we did a night dive almost every day during our trip. You will also have plenty of opportunities to see turtles as well. I personally love turtles. You will find them in different settings at nighttime, during the day. You'll see them swimming around, you'll see them just chilling on the rock. So there's plenty to see. When it comes to manta rays, you will see them doing laps in front of you. It actually does little loop-de-loops, and it just keeps on going. Another strong attraction for Raja Ampat is the sweet lips. You have to dive in quite deep for this one. You're gonna go down about 27 meters, and there you're gonna see a massive school of sweet lips. I would have preferred to have this side a little bit closer to the surface of the water so that it reflects off the sun a lot more, but needless to say, the number of sweet lips is just incredible. Now, in terms of the actual dive skill itself, it is a requirement if you want to go to this trip, you have to be advanced divers, so make sure you get your licensing before you get there. And of course, there was a couple of dives where there were slightly stronger currents as well, so make sure you're ready for that too. But overall, the dive experience is amazing. The visibility is great. The briefing by the dive master is amazing, and the dive master themselves know exactly where to look, when to look, to point out all the beautiful things to see and the crazy animals that you get to witness. One really fun thing that I did was I took my drone over to this trip, and using the drone I actually was able to spot different wildlife as well. I saw a manta ray as we were sailing back to the main boat just from above the water. That's how clear the water is, and this one is an oceanic manta ray. The view from above was just simply unreal. To actually see the manta ray right next to this beautiful green lush islands, it was just amazing. We also found a massive whale with a cub. We filmed it with a drone. It was spraying water above the surface, and we saw it from a distance from our boat, but we flew the drone over there, and that was what we were able to see, which I thought was just simply unreal. Needless to say, everyone on board was super impressed with that footage, and it's something that we are very, very lucky to have witnessed. We also spotted many sharks from above the water as well, not only around the shore, but just generally when we are sailing around. And these are the reasons why I think if you are an avid drone flyer, you're gonna have so much fun spying on these animals from above. Now going above ground, just the general nature, we did have a couple of opportunities to go trekking. We went trekking and there we've seen some beautiful views from a viewing platform. We actually went to Pia Nemo as well, where we got a shot of the view that you get when you Google Raja Ampat on Google, and that was absolutely unforgettable. We took tons and tons of photos, and of course the hike itself was quite demanding, so make sure you're ready to sweat. The weather is quite warm and humid, so you're basically going to be melting. I suggest that when you go climbing that you put on your bathers instead of putting on like something to climb with, so that when you come down from the mountain you can just have a quick dip, and that could be the way you cool off. The people who are on the boat made sure that we got a good look of the Raja Ampat as well. After all, Raja Ampat is the landscape and seascape which the movie Avatar was based upon. Overall, this is what makes up the Raja Ampat live on board experience. If you'd like to get on this trip, you go check out the link in the description and you have information available. The tickets range between $2,500 to $3,500 USD and subject to changes based around the season and the demand. And all you have to do is get yourself a ticket to Sorong and get yourself a ticket home from Sorong around those dates, and you're basically good to go. Everything is looked after. There's no more to pay other than if you want to drink alcohol on the board, and it is simply one of the most amazing, and what I would agree, a very, very economical experience to be fed, to be accommodated, and also to be taken on dive. So rather than going wasting your money on shops and food that'll make you sick in these travel locations, live on board experience is highly recommended. Join us on the trip, link in the description below. If you haven't done so, make sure to like, share, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. blueviewdiving.com. Thanks for tuning in. Peace out.